Hi, thanks for joining me for another episode of MSU Realness. I'm your host, Ahjahnae LaQuer, and today at Morgan State I spoke with two students about how they felt in regards to colorism. Colorism is the prejudice or discrimination of a certain person with a darker skin tone than you, specifically within the same ethnic group. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
My name is Alex Blanc. I'm a junior in multi-platform productions. That's my major.
Okay. Zayna Armstrong, CANHA. Print journalism major, and I'm a junior.
Colorism to me is like a divide, basically. It's a divide based off of skin tone, i.e. light skin versus dark skin. And it's just something that has rose over the course of time. Through I should look back to like slavery in terms of colorism, because that's where I feel like everything started, with the quote unquote house nigga. So I feel like that's the rise of it, where the darker tones or the deeper tones felt like the lighter tones were getting treated better.
And my definition would be basically discriminating against somebody based off of their skin tone, whether they're lighter or darker than you, for whatever reason you feel like you're better than them. I know for me, when I was younger, I was guilty of that. I would discriminate against dark-skinned girls. Kind of subconsciously, I didn't really realize I was doing it, and I wasn't really aware because I wasn't taught that. I was just raised upon, white people treating black people certain ways, and that's pretty much it. I think rappers and entertainers in general don't take their platforms seriously. I think they just say certain things because it's cool, because they think it's funny, because their friends are like, oh, it's partially true. And the thing is, whether it's true or not, it's not right. Because if a dark-skinned girl wants to wear a red lip, let her wear a red lip. If she thinks she's beautiful, then let her think she's beautiful. But it's not your place to determine whether or not someone looks right. And especially when it comes to beauty, because I believe that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So you can't just generalize a group of people based off of your own opinion. That's not really valid. I think that we also need help from men to help this image and to help this process get better. Because if you have men that say oh, I don't like a dark-skinned girl, light-skinned girls get, that doesn't help the situation. It only makes dark-skinned girls feel more insecure about themselves than they really have to.
It definitely does degrade women. So it's like women start feeling like they don't have a chance. It's because the standard that society is setting, it's we didn't choose our skin tone. You know what I'm saying? You didn't choose to be your skin tone. I didn't choose to be dark skin. This is what we were given. So for someone to say dark skin doesn't look in this, and I hate the term, I don't know if it's just me that hears it, or it must be a universal, but you're pretty for a dark skinned girl or something like that. I feel like that's just what? I don't know where it came from, because if you're beautiful, you're beautiful. Beauty is beauty no matter in what shape or form that it comes in. But African Americans and African American women in particular, because of the divide that certain people are placing with their mouths, people don't understand how powerful words are, and that words go a very long way. I know people say sticks and stones, but that's what they tell you. But in reality, words do hurt, and words can set barriers. I'm from Haiti. You see it in Haiti a lot, because the lighter skins, they are more probable to get married rather than somebody who's darker, because you want to carry the lighter skin because they look more quote unquote them. I actually heard that. My parents were telling me I'm white. So it's because in such poor places like that, there's two things that are distinct that show wealth. For a man, if you have if you're overweight and you have a big stomach, that shows you're wealthy. And it's if you're married to somebody who's lighter skinned, shows you're wealthy. And it's crazy to me that we think that way, but it's just that's the mindset.
And this is why I say it's going to take everybody to really come together, because not only is it an issue in America, it's an issue everywhere. But I do think we need to start here, because America is kind of the most watched place. Everybody watches America. They expect us to have, the best jobs, to have the best opportunities, this, that, and the third. So I feel like we need to set the standard. We need to set the image to let the whole world know, like, this is not a thing. Like, black girls, black women, we do rock, you know, not to sound cliche or anything like that, but no matter what shade of color you are, you're still beautiful in every way, shape, or form. And I feel like it needs to start here first, and then I feel like it'll start to branch out to the other nations.
It's interesting they said that because like my sister actually skin bleached herself, and it's like it was at first I didn't understand what was going on until like it recently found out that my mom was doing it too, and I was just like, it's like, Mom, what's up? Like, for why? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you doing this? Because you have everything. You're married, you have kids, so who are you doing this for? Like, it's just a question. I mean, she didn't answer me because she was just like, I want to. And, you know, you're not going to question your mom. I just left it at that. But in my head, I was just like, you have everything, you know what I'm saying? She has a job, she has everything, so why is she doing it as well?
And are they happier after bleaching?
I mean, they appear happier. I mean, I don't know what's inside, you know, you never know what's going on inside of somebody's mind or how they perceive themselves, what they see when they look in the mirror, because you're not them. So I don't know internally. On the outside, they look, I mean, they have, you know, issues come and go throughout life, so, you know, they have their ups and downs. So I don't know if they're having a good day, if it's because they feel like they're lighter skin or like darker because they could have gotten something nice at work, you know. So you don't really ever know what is making them happy at the end of the day. That could be a part of it, you know. I'm not throwing that at the question, but you never know.
Thank you for watching. Both of our guests had a lot of insight about colorism and specifically what it meant to them and their family and friends. The movie School Days, done by Spike Lee, explored the idea of colorism, but maybe there needs to be a conversation had today, especially on HBCU campuses, because it can really cause a divide between people of the same race, when really, in a time like this, what we need is unity. So I hope that you can carry this message on after watching this video, and thanks for watching MSU Realness. I'm your host, Ahjahnae LaQuer.